We're filming whenever you want to start.
All right, so like we said, we'll start at the bottom, we'll work our way up. So the first thing is our shoes. So each slider has different sets of shoes. These are mine. This is after a decade and a half of deciding what I wanted to put on my feet. This is a Nike Downshifter 7. And the reason I like it is because we have these track and field-esque little marks on here that cut through the wax that we build on the floor. Gives us really good grip. Also, they're lightweight and flexible, and the toe is really nice for gluing on this guy. This guy is the steel toe cut out of a boot that we usually get on clearance at Walmart. The lacing, due to our sport, we put a lot of wear and tear on the tops of our shoes. You can imagine that laces don't last very long. So what we've decided to do is use zip ties. Inexpensive, disposable, very strong, perfect for what we need. On the inside, if it's your fancy, you can put in a nice little Dr. Scholl's thing. Super favorite, I love it. So those are our shoes. A lot of our sliders do use the downshifters. Some of them use Chuck Taylors. I don't like Chuck Taylors just because of the flat platform, and I don't think it propels you forward, but I'm old and I have a different opinion. So those are the shoes. So moving up, we've got our knee pads. What I use, and this is a newer model, it's called the Smith 2 by Scabs, and what this is it's I believe it's called a ramp pad, and it's typical for skateboarders and BMX bikers to use. What I have done is I've crossed the streams a little bit, and I use a Smith body, but I use a 187V Ternal recap because the life on this is unprecedented. And on the Smith 2 body, there's a Velcro in here, and you can attach it right in there. Whereas on the Smith 1s, there was a solid cap riveted to the pad, and then you had to glue another recap on top of it. It was bulky, heavy, cumbersome, you didn't have as much control, not fun. For stunt sliding, which is what we do in the Decayed Brigade, this is the model several of us have decided to use. Another model of body that you could use is the 187 Killer Pad. The sizing runs a little funky, so you definitely have to try those on, but they are a really good pad. They're good, similar to in a figure skate, how you've got the blades, you have different edges of your blade. That pad does give you some nice edges to work with as far as control in your slide. If you work at a haunted event, such as Not Scary Farm, the Smith 1 or the Smith 2 will be your best bet because they have way more padding in there. But as far as comfort, Smith 2s win. These are my favorite. Modifications that I have made, similar to how a ballerina will fix her point shoe before she ever goes out on the floor, we have to fix our stuff. So this little strap that I've added keeps this strap in place. I've tightened this a lot. Some of us use ABS plastic to cover up the logo. However, now the Decayed Brigade is sponsored, so now we show off our logos. We can sell out too. So that pretty much covers it for the knee pads. Working our way up. Let's go to gloves. So gloves are very unique to each slider, but I will share with you mine. So what these are motocross gloves. They have a lot of padding on them, on the inside and the outside. They're very sturdy. This is their 3rd season. I think they're gonna have to get retired for new ones. Also, you'll notice that there's no Velcro in here. That was a mistake on my part. I'm going back to Velcro for easy on, easy access. Also, this was a custom design to match my dress. And what we've got here is obvious wear and tear. I'll show you the insides first. This is the gel, they're inserts for like high heels, you know what I mean? And I had a boy set and a girl set that I wasn't using anymore, so I married them together, and it's the perfect amount of cushion for when you're doing flying squirrel and you smack your hands on the floor. So that's the squishy bit that we throw on the inside. Most sliders do have a pad that they have on the inside, just because after so many hits to the ground, you start to bruise and it's uncomfortable. So anything that we can make our bodies last longer, we're gonna do it. What we've got here, a couple different variations that people choose. There is a downhill like skateboard type thing where it's this little plastic puck that Velcros onto the glove. And it's very fast, but it's very quiet. So it lends itself to stunt sliding because we're really not about getting that sound. We just want to go as fast as we can. So that glove is perfect for that. I haven't moved on to that yet, but I think when I get new ones, I think I am going to go that route. But the option for scare sliding and stunt sliding is to use a toe tap. So this is a size 1 Capezio male toe tap that you can get online. I love Discount Dance. I've never found them on Amazon. I know you can get everything else in the world there, but you may have to go to a dance store for this one. And the size 1 is the biggest of the male tap shoe sizes. And they usually come with a heel, but you don't need the heel, you just want to get the toes. They also come with a gasket on the back because these bad boys are designed to be screwed into a shoe. So you need a gasket there to kind of absorb a little bit of sound and a little bit of shock. I use them for the exact same purpose, but I glue them together. And the glue that we use notoriously is E6000. Across the board, stunt sliding, scare sliding, E6000's your friend. These guys, also notorious in the haunt community. To get to this point, so you have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you go to the electrical aisle and you get 1/4 or 1/2 or 3/4 90-degree conduit joints. And they don't start out looking like this, but by the time you're done with them, they will be. You'll see them in the package when you see that 90-degree conduit. It's a main body and then a part that screws onto that body, and they're held on with 2 little screws. You take off that main body and you take off the screws, and you're left with a piece that looks like this, except it's a little bit longer. And to further modify, you can take a Dremel tool, which is again our haunt favorite, and you just chop it to whatever length is comfortable for you, and that way you have a little bit more dexterity. Because those things, when you look on your hand, they're about to here, and you can't really get, like if you want to pick up a can of Coke, you can't really, because you have no flexibility. If you chop them down a little bit, you're not sacrificing any coverage on your fingers, but you're just getting the good stuff where you need it. And the thumbs will be a little bit bigger. Another thing to remember is it's really easy to want to just aim for the middle when you're gluing stuff down, but you'll notice the thumb kind of looks like it's off wonky to the side. And the reason is when you lay your thumb down on the ground or on the floor, your thumb is kind of wonky. It's not laying flat like all of your other hands. So your cover is going to cover that part of your hand. So whatever is being protected, essentially, is the part that is flat on the ground. As you can see that guy right there. So that's the main gear. Truly, any set of gloves that you want to get at Home Depot will work for you. People have used welding gloves, a la Gary. He loves to wear welding gloves, but you know, he does a lot of things unconventionally. Motorcycle gloves are very popular. Mechanics gloves. Anything that's comfortable and somewhat breathable and flexible is going to be your friend. They typically don't last more than 3 years anyway. It doesn't matter what kind that you get. So you can spend 30 bucks like I did this one time, which I won't do again, or you can spend $15 at Walmart, which I will probably do next time. So that's that. Along with the basic gear, you really only need those things to slide. But if you decide that you want to take the shoelaces out, you'll need these. These are zip ties. So the size will depend on how big your foot is and how big the top of your foot is, but the 8-inch size works for me. I would say go at least this size to make sure that you've got enough room to cover. Other things that you're gonna need, first aid kit is always great. Ibuprofen, because you're gonna be sore. When one of our jumpers decided to literally crack his skull open all over the floor, we needed a nice bandage to hold the bandage to his skull, so that's something good to keep. Last but not least, this is actually pretty important, it's wax. So you can slide anywhere at any time, and it's probably fine. But if you want to get some speed and you want to make some noise, you're going to need to wax your pads. So what we have designed is, it is a soy and paraffin blend of wax. The Decayed Brigade actually sells it if you feel like buying it, but this one was made for me for my birthday. It doesn't look cute anymore, but it used to be a skull. So what you do is you take this, take a trusty pad, and you rub it like that. And you just get enough so you basically like buttering the top of your bread, and then this will make your slides nice and fast. And it lasts for a really long time, and it also disperses onto the floor so that you can keep revisiting the same place without having to keep rebuttering the pad. I think that's it of anything of interest in the bag. I hope that was helpful.